Marhaban. Hello, my name is Ian Campbell, and this is the 7th in a series of videos designed to teach you the Arabic alphabet and sound system and to prepare you to learn vocabulary words. In this lesson, we're going to learn two new letters of the alphabet, Sin and Sheen, and a non-alphabetic character called Shadda that doubles consonants. So I'll jump right into it with the letter Sin, which is a connecting letter. From a pronunciation point of view, it's just English S, so it's no problem at all. From a writing point of view, it's a little bit trickier. So let me get into this here. If we make it in the very traditional fancy way, we're going to do this. We're going to make three little teeth in a row, and these are smaller teeth than the ba-ta-tha teeth, and they're closer together as well. And then we're going to make this circular tail off of the third tooth. Now, this is actually kind of tricky to do in practice, and let me go in here and show you how it looks first, and then I'll show you how most people actually make the letter. So again, the solo form is three little bitty teeth, smaller than ba-ta-tha teeth, and then a circular tail coming around like this. In the first position, you're just going to make the three little teeth and then go on to the next letter. Same thing when you're in the middle position. Three little teeth, exactly evenly spaced. If you do this 3 or 4 times, you'll discover it's actually very tricky to do correctly, to get them in the exact same size and shape and spacing. In the final form, it's going to look a lot like the solo form, with coming from the previous letter, the 3 teeth, and now the circular tail. So this is kind of the traditional way to make Sin, and a lot of people who learn the Arabic equivalent of block printing will learn it this way and to make it this way. And there's nothing wrong with making it this way. It's just very tricky to do, to get these teeth very even and equally spaced and so forth. So what most people will do is they'll make it like this. They'll make a little hook and then just a flat line in place of the 3 teeth, and then the circular tail like this. This is much more common in handwriting because it's much easier to do. So I'll put it down here and you could see examples of it. So little bitty hook, flat line, round tail like this. Notice that this is a different round tail from a ya, which goes up and down and backwards and around like that. So this is the ya tail, this is the Sin tail, where you just pretty much go straight down. In the first position, you just make this wee little hook and then go off on a straight line. In the middle position, it's just a straight line, like this. And then in the final position, the straight line continues, and then you get the circular tail. So the question students always ask at this point is, hey, professor, how long does the straight line have to be to make it a Sin? And the answer is, it depends. If it's a really familiar word that everyone knows, it's going to be kind of short, and people will just understand it as a Sin. I'll show you some examples below. If it's an unfamiliar vocabulary word, or something weird from poetry or literature or something like that, then it will tend to be longer so that the writer can make the reader understand there's supposed to be a Sin in this unfamiliar word. So in fact, let me cross the ya tail out so you know not to make it this way. So the answer is it depends. And this is a little ambiguous and tricky for beginning students like you are. Don't worry about it. If you have to exaggerate it, exaggerate it. I mean, paper is very inexpensive, and well, this isn't even paper anyway. It's a digital piece of paper. So use as much space as you want is the point here. So Sin is easy to draw depending on which way you do it. The handwriting way is much easier than this kind of block printing way, but lots of people still make it the block printing way, and there's nothing wrong with that. As far as pronunciation goes, it's just English S, so there's zero problem with that. Our next letter is Sheen, which is just like Sin, and I'm going to try to make my 3 little teeth here. I never do it this way unless I'm doing a video. And then it's going to have 3 dots on top, like Tha does, in a little triangle. Just like that. That's Sheen. And it makes the English SH sound. 2 letters in English, 1 letter in Arabic. It gets its own letter. Most people will make Sheen exactly like Sin in the handwriting way, and then they're going to put the 3 dots together in a little caret, like the letter Tha. So this is much more common to see this. You will still see people making 3 dots in a triangle, just like they make the 3 little teeth. But both of them are really tricky to do, especially if you're trying to write something in a hurry. This way is much faster. In general, I would recommend it, but it's up to you. Do what you want. And then so if we're going to make sheen, we're simply going to put the 3 dots atop whatever part of the letter we're doing. So that part is trivially easy. So sheen gets the English sh sound, and it's 1 letter in Arabic instead of 2 like it is in English. Other than that, it's really completely unproblematic from the point of view of pronunciation. And then we're going to get to this character called shadda. So shadda is a non-alphabetic character that doubles the consonant it sits on top of. And it looks like a little curvy W shape, where the fatha or the dhamma would normally go. So shadda doubles the consonant. In fact, its name has a shadda in it. It comes from the word for intense, and so you're intensifying the consonant is what you're doing. So we're going to make this word. Here's our new letter sheen, and our fatha, and our shadda over the dal, and then I'm going to put a fatha over the shadda. This is really common. And then I'm going to make my friend ta marbuta, and now we have shadda, the name of the character. So in English, we often have double consonants, but they don't really matter, like the word bottle or rattle. It doesn't sound like it has 2 T's in there, even though you write it with 2 T's. But in Arabic, when you have a double consonant, you have to double it. This word is not shadda, this word is shadda, almost pronouncing the dal twice without quite a vowel sound between them. And doubled consonants, whether they're 2 different consonants put together with sukoon or the same consonant with shadda over it, they get stress, just like long vowels do. One thing you should notice is that sometimes we will have shadda with dhamma after it, and that part is easy. And sometimes we will have shadda with fatha after it, like I did up here. Both of those are simple. But sometimes I will have shadda with kasra. And normally kasra goes down here. But typically when we write shadda with kasra, we write the kasra underneath the shadda. It makes it easier to read because your eyes don't have to move around, is the reason for it. And it's something that evolved a long time ago. And so you should get used to always seeing shadda like this. The Microsoft Word I have on this computer won't let me put the kasra under the shadda. It wants me to put the kasra under the letters, and it drives me bananas. But that's just me. So double consonants get doubled and get stressed. I've talked a lot about Arabic words having 3-letter roots, and it's very common for the 2nd and 3rd letter of the root to be the same letter. So sheen, dal, dal is the root for intensity, for example. So something that is shadid is intense, like the turtles in Finding Nemo. So you're going to write it like this. So something that will happen a lot is that sometimes with one of these what we call judur muda'afa, doubled roots, where the 2nd and 3rd letter are the same, that sometimes they'll collapse and have shadda on top of them, and sometimes they'll be separated. So you just have to kind of get used to this, to knowing the most common doubled roots so that you can recognize words. This is one of the many skills you'll acquire with Arabic as you go. So let's take a look at cadence and some examples of words now. So the first word I'm going to give you is, here's our dhamma at the top of the alif bihamza. So this word is ustadh. Ustadh. Here's our thal at the end with the dot, so the sound. So ustadh, and here's our seen, so you could see its flat line. That means professor or teacher or educated person. And some people will tell you it's where usted in Spanish comes from, because of course Spain was occupied by Arabic-speaking Muslims for many centuries. The jury's kind of out on that one. So ustadh means educated person and is what we call a professor. If I were a woman, I would be ustadha, but I'm not, so I'm ustadh. Now, if you're going to say, hey, professor, if you're going to raise your hand and you're going to ask a question in class, which we sincerely hope you do, then you're going to put this little thing before it, ya alif, which is just ya. Ya is what we call a vocative particle, and what that means is you're directly addressing someone. When you speak to someone and you say their name or their title, then you have to put ya before it. Think like an old school fantasy novel where the person is saying, "O King," with a big old capital O. That's the English equivalent. It's pretty much dropped out of English centuries ago, but it retains in Arabic. So when we're speaking to someone by their name or title, regardless of what gender or how many people there are, we put ya before it. So learn this little word as well. The human plural of ustad is asatidha. So this word looks feminine because it ends in ta marbulta, and it's pretty uncommon to have this, but it does exist here and there. This is actually the plural, professors, plural here. So then we have sara, which means he went or he walked or he marched, and yasir, which means he goes or he walks or he marches. So here you have the flat line in between these two, and you can see that that's about the right length for it. It maybe could even be a little bit shorter and people would understand it. But if you want to stretch it way out, hey, knock yourself out. There's no problem with that. Ashara. So here's our at the beginning. Here's our sheen, which we could tell from the 3 dots. Ashara. Ashara means he pointed or he indicated. It's a word that gets used, a root that gets used in a lot of derived words. Tushir is present tense. So he points or he indicates, or she points or she indicates, excuse me. And then we have a great word to learn, shab. So here's our doubled root. So sheen, bat is the root for youth. So a shab is a young person, a guy, a dude, someone between the ages of roughly 15 and 30 who crucially is unmarried. So if you're married, you're not a shab anymore. And this is a great word to just use as pointing at someone. If you put ta marbulta on it and make it shabba, then it's a female shab, a gal, a chick, if you will. I suppose chick is a little pejorative, so let's not use that. Let's say gal instead, because I like the old school feel of it. So if we put ta marbulta on it, that's what that makes. There's another word we'll learn later for young woman or gal, but it involves a letter we haven't learned yet, so I'll get to it then. The plural of shab is shabab. So, hey, you could say ya shabab is what I should probably space this out a little bit more. In fact, let me do that here. So if I move this word over here, and then I put my ya before it. So, ya shabab, hey guys, hey folks. If you want to address your classmates or your friends, this is a great way to do it. We can even put an exclamation mark on it, which is the same in Arabic as it is in English. So, ya shabab, hey guys, hey dudes, hey folks. It's gender neutral too. So if it's a group if it were a group entirely made of women and you were feeling formal, you might use a different word that I can't teach you yet. But in general, it's gender neutral as plural. So, ya shabab, hey guys. This is a great thing to learn to say. So here's our friend shadid, which means intense. And then shadda, the name of the character here, which I haven't put the harakat on, the short vowels, which I will do now. So shadda, and then shaddada. So here's the doubled root, and then we've doubled the middle consonants. This is a way of making it a verb that does that thing to something or someone else. So shaddada means to make it more intense, to intensify it. And you shaddid, here's our kasra underneath the shadda. See it there? That's important. You shaddid is he intensifies. He makes it more intense. All right, a jaras is a bell. Ajras is its plural. Notice this plural form. Alif bihamza, letter number 1, bisukun. Harf rakam ithnain, letter number 2. Long vowel alif, letter number 3. This is a really common pattern for plural nouns. So jaras is singular, bell. Ajras is plural, bells. In English, it's so much easier to make plurals. And then haris, so the ha-ra-sin root means to guard something, and putting alif in between the first 2 consonants and kasra in between the last 2 makes it the er form, the doer of that thing. So a haris is a guarder, a guardian. It's one of the few words that comes directly into English from Arabic. So Vice President Harris, currently running for election for president, that's her name, guardian in Arabic. So now you know that. And then bashara here, humanity, to give you an idea of here's a scene in the middle of a word with this long flat line. So neither of these letters is particularly difficult. The drawing it as a flat line is a little bit of a challenge for novice students, but you'll get used to that really quickly. They're easy to pronounce, they're easy to learn, and remember, when you have a double consonant in Arabic, you have to really land on it. Shaddada is what we say here, not shadada. So be careful about that, and I will say ma salam.